Let's go to Groucho Marx, because you were at a party in Hollywood. You see, with someone like your good self, we can mention people like this. You were at a party in Hollywood, and you found yourself chatting to the legendary Groucho Marx.
Yes. How do you find all this out?
Well, with a little bit of info coming my way. So anyway, you were chatting to him, and he made a beeline for you, and he gave you some very good advice.
Yes.
Now, I have the advice he gave you. Now, I just want to jog your memory. Can you remember what he said to you?
I can actually remember, yes. Hold on a minute, let me get this right. We were talking about Hollywood, and he was sort of saying, welcome to Hollywood, and I hope you have a nice time. And he was saying Hollywood's a difficult place, can be a difficult place to be, and he said that there's lots of distractions, least of all the pretty ladies.
Of course.
But he said, don't worry about it. He said, you should always remember, he said, if you want to wake up in the morning with a smile on your face, go to bed with a coat hanger in your mouth. And I sort of when he said, if you want to wake up in the morning with a smile on your face, I thought, oh, I'm going to get some real sort of proper advice here. You know?
John, was he like that in real? You know, the image we have of Groucho in films. I mean, wonderful character. You've only got to look at him and you laugh. Well, was he like that in real life?
Not really. No, he was slightly different, actually. No, he didn't come across. I mean, Groucho Marx had sort of great timing, didn't he? With all the sort of cigar tapping and the funny walk
and the fast chat.
Yeah, and I mean he'd say things a bit like Tommy Cooper, of course. They'd say things that other people would say, and they're not really funny, but the way they say them, it is funny.
Yes, absolutely. Now we're going to touch on other people in the second part of this program, and we're not playing too many tunes at the moment. We should actually get back. You do have. Let's give this a little plug.
Yes.
Now, I love the original one of this, John. I must say, it was from a film. I think it was the circus film, Circus Horrors.
Yes, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yes, that's where it came from. And what's your favourite track on Look for a Star?
I think my favourite track is a Elvis Presley number. When my blue moon turns to gold again. That's the one I enjoyed singing that, and I think it's a great number. It's a good number.
All right. As you brought Elvis up, you were on a film set, and in the beginning you were passing Elvis in the corridor, and then you started going hi to each other. You know, when you're in a studio, you do pass people, and after a while you go hi, how's it going? How friendly did you get with Elvis?
Well, quite friendly. I was doing a television series, excuse me, at MGM in Hollywood, and he was on the next stage doing a film called Spin Out, I think it was called, the car racing film.
Another one.
Yeah. And you're quite right, yeah. We sort of walked past each other in corridors and kept walking past each other, and eventually when you walk past somebody enough times, you say hi, and hi got to hello, how are you, good morning, and yeah, slowly we got to know each other. He's an absolute gentleman, Elvis Presley.
When you say got to know him, was this in the canteen, or did you hang out at Graceland?
No, it was only at the studio that I got to know him, and we used to go to, he used to, at these studios, you'd have, I had one as well, like a golf buggy with a little fringe on top, you'd drive around.
Oh, I know.
And I remember I was coming back from the canteen or restaurant, having had lunch with him, and he said, I'll give you a lift back to the stage, because stages were next to each other, where I was filming and where he was filming. Hello, who's that?
It's Christmas. Where's that coming from?
Oh, it's a Christmas jingle.
I don't know, it's very pretty. If it's in the right key, I could sing along with it.
Yeah, that's a mobile phone. It's probably mine. Is it coming?
Maybe it's mine. Is it mine?
Is it coming? We have a studio full of people. Yeah, it's actually it's marvellous.
It's not mine. It's not mine.
It's my phone going in the jacket, you know.
It's mine in the car.
Let's not lose the thread of that story with Elvis.
We were, as I said, we were coming back from. He gave me a lift in his buggy, this golf buggy with this sort of fringe thing on top, and he said, "I'll give you a lift back," because I was filming on the stage next to where he was filming, So we're driving along. Well, he's driving the buggy, and I'm sitting next to him. And we had to stop because while they were loading one of the stages, another of the stages, with scenery. And as we stopped, a tour bus pulled up on the other side of the little road we were on. Because, as you know, over there at Universal Studios, MGM Studios, you can be taken round. You can they have tourists that go around and have a look at the sets.
This is in LA.
Yeah,
I've been there only as a tourist.
right.
I've actually been on that part.
Right.
It's great fun.
But anyway, we're sitting there because we're waiting to go past because they're loading a stage with scenery, and this tour bus comes up, and they all get out, and because I'd been in Great Escape and Von Ryan's Express, and I was now in a television series that was networked around America. I was on their side, sitting in the buggy. I was their side. Elvis was the other side of me, and they recognised me. So as we were sitting there, they all ran over and asked for my autograph.
And you've got Elvis Presley sitting
next to me. He puts a cap down over his face and looks the other way, and I'm sitting here next to probably the most famous man in the world, signing autographs. They don't want to know about him. They didn't recognise him.
No, my goodness.
And so it was quite funny, and it was the funny. He saw the funny side of it. I saw the funny side of it as well. It was stupid, and finally, when the stage they put all the scenery into this stage where we were waiting, he said, time to go. And I said, okay, carry on, driver. And off we went.
I like it. Mike Quinn here, and I'm with John Leyton. We touched on Mae Farrow.
Mia Farrow, yeah.
Is it Mia?
Mia.
Mia. And you introduced her to Frank Sinatra, and there was a little story that we nearly got to before we went to London to Sky. Just to let
it's a sweet little story, really, because I knew Mia from Guns at Battersea. She replaced Britt Ekland on Guns at Battersea, and I got to know Mia very well, and we'll leave it at that. But anyway, I got to know her very well, and then when I went over to Hollywood on Von Ryan's Express, as I said, she was on the next stage doing Peyton Place television series.
I love the silence. We'll leave it at that. You see, Peter Sellers weren't wrong about you, was it?
But anyway, Mia came to visit me on the set of Von Ryan's Express, and Frank Sinatra I could see his eyes sparkle up a bit, so I introduced Mia to Frank Sinatra, and that evening she called me after we finished shooting at home. She called me on the telephone and said, look, what do I do? Frank Sinatra's asked me to Palm Springs for the weekend. And she said, will you come with me? And I said, listen, baby, I said, I want to work in this town. I said, he's not asking me to Palm Springs, he's asking you to Palm Springs. Mm-hmm. And I said, you've got to say, either you go or you don't go. Well, she went, and it was the next thing we know, she's Mrs. Sinatra.
How did you feel in Frank's company? Were you comfortable? Or
Very, yeah, he was a very nice man. He really was a very nice man. I know with some people, he wasn't a very nice man, but he looked after me. He was like a father, really, and I was very young, and suddenly there I was in Hollywood in a major motion picture with at the time the biggest star in the world. There's no question about it. In 1964, when we did Von Ryan's Express, Frank Sinatra was bigger than anybody. I mean, he was just enormous, an enormous international star, and he was very nice to me. Yeah, I have nothing but affectionate memories